Yeah, hey, welcome back, anglers. Doing Lake Isabella. This lake is kind of near and dear to me. I fished it when I was a little kid. I lived in Palmdale, California, which wasn't too far away from here. And my friend's dad had a bass boat, and just have so many fond memories of this lake. There was a point where we were too small to even go on the boat, and we'd have to fish from shore while they're doing their tournaments. And then we eventually got to go on the boat as we got older, so it's really cool. So Lake Isabella, it's a great reservoir. It was built in 1953 and with the help of the Army Corps of Engineers. It's about 11,200 acres and is filled by the North Fork Kern River and the South Fork Kern River. It's a rugged lake situated at the base of the Sierra Nevada foothills, and it really has a beautiful quality to it. It sits at an elevation of about 2,500 feet and supports a multi-species base of fish, including largemouth, spotted bass, smallmouth, crappie, bluegill, trout, and catfish. So the boat ramps available are the French Gulch Ramp, Site 19 Boat Ramp, Old Isabella Boat Ramp, and the South Fork Boat Ramp. I imagine you have to check all these before you go. So let's start talking about locations and where to fish in this lake. So the western side of the lake tends to be much rockier and deeper than the eastern arm. The eastern arm is more shallow with sand, mats, and exposed brush, but this whole lake is super fishy and bassy. Isabella water tends to be stained with a slight murkiness to it, so light line or fluoro isn't as crucial here. You can probably get away with a good copolymer. And Isabella has a buffet of fishing spots, including docks, weed beds, boat ramps, underwater trees, drop-off ledges, channels, points, and rocky banks. I mean, it's kind of like a buffet wherever you go. And main spots that seem to be good for fishing, as reported by a lot of fishermen, are the dam. So at the dam, winds can pick up here and be pretty fierce at times, so just keep an eye on the weather and so you don't get caught out. French Gulch, when fishing this area, concentrate on points, boulders, rock transitions, and the cuts back in the coves. This can be a very productive area in water. Engineer Point, this point has very steep banks and composed of chunky rock. You can parallel the bank with lures, or you can use your electronics to find the fish. The flume, this can be fished from shore or boat. Better by boat when it's submerged by water. It's like an underground highway with berms. Mark it with your fish finder and drop some waypoints on it to find the fish. Rocky Point, this point is full of riprap rocks on the bank. Fish the big boulders, color breaks, and ledges, and fish the main point and either side as it breaks out into open water. Another good area is the Old Cemetery and Wofford Height Point area. This is a great spot. It's off the western bank of the Kern River, and the river flows out here, creating humps underneath the water. Ditches are also carved into the bottom from the moving water. So there's lots of vegetation can grow here also. And you can find underwater timber or exposed timber in low water years. So it's just a mecca for bass over there. Next spot is Camp 9. This is a real good area to fish and can be loaded with vegetation and mats, or again in low water years exposing timber, which can create lots of different opportunities to get bit. It's about 3 to 11 feet deep in this area and provides a lot of cover for bass. Paradise Point and Paradise Cove is one of the main last areas. This spot may look underwhelming, but it can be just the opposite. It can be a great place to fish. The water from the South Kern actually pushes into the point, creating current. The steep bank and big boulders are protective or productive spots. Look for the underwater breaks. Also, artificial structures were put in around Paradise Cove, so look for those. As far as the lures go, bass are open to many different offerings on where you fish and what time of the year with this lake. I mean, I would say you just bring your whole arsenal, because you can use topwater, crankbaits, spinner baits, lipless cranks, frogs, punching baits. Texas rigged plastics, I remember as a kid, worked really good here because of all the structure. Just rig them weedless. Chatterbaits, I'm sure umbrella rigs work really good in open water as long and with plastic swim baits. And then drop shots, and then whatever else you want to fish. I think it just really depends on where you want to go, what depth you are. Do you have structure? Do you have vegetation? Do you have mats? So just figure it out yourself, but I think the locations really are more important, and then you can drill down on what lures you want to use. So this section here is the deeper section that I'm scanning over right now. There's a little lookout section over here, which you can view from your car if you pull over. And then this is another really good point here. If you look at this how fishy this looks. I mean, you've got the drop off on both sides, and then you got that nice color break on the end with those boulders. And then now you're getting down into the south Kern Riverside, where the other river dumps in, and just look at all that vegetation and all those mats. And you get a lot of sunken timber here, a lot of submerged trees, so you're definitely gonna have to fish weedless down there. But that looks super fishy. And then you just come back, check out this really deep cut over here on that point, and then it leads back down to this cut right in here. Look at that. Wow, that looks so fishy. I'm sure this whole lake it's been a long time since I have fished this lake, but that's why I looked it back up, and I'm trying to give you guys and ladies an opportunity to at least get a starting point of where to fish, whether it's your kayak, float tube, or your boat. So I really hope this helps. But this area right here, check this out. This is where I caught my bass when I was a kid, on those boulders right there. I remember it so well. I remember the curve of the road, and we were hiking. That's the time when we were left on shore. We were about 12 years old, so great opportunity there. I remember I used a Bill Norman lure. Here's another dock. Check this out. Look at the opportunity there. You know that's going to create structure for bass. Keep going down here, and then we're getting into the one of the boat ramps, and then we're going to get back into the dam area here in just a minute. But yeah, so this is it, guys. This is Lake Isabella. I'm going to also highlight at the end on a still picture some of the more prominent areas that that I talked about in the video. So really great lake. I'm just full of bass, full of 2 and 4 pounders, and they say there's some chances for some good 10-12 pounders all day long. So all right, I'm going to start circling the areas on the map now. Thanks for watching.